The sharp crack of the door slamming echoed through the quiet suburban house in Arlington, Virginia, like a gunshot in the night. Emily Carter stood frozen in the hallway, her heart pounding as she clutched the crumpled letter from her parents, the words "choose your family or your sin" burning into her mind. In that instant, she knew her world had shattered, and the woman she loved, Sarah Mitchell, waiting outside in the rain-soaked car, was now the only anchor in a storm of rejection. Emily had always been the perfect daughter in her conservative household. Straight A's, captain of the debate team at George Mason High, and a volunteer at the local church youth group. But beneath that facade simmered a truth she had buried for years: her undeniable attraction to women. It started innocently enough in sophomore year, with stolen glances at Sarah during English class. Sarah, with her fiery red hair and unapologetic laugh, was everything Emily wasn't: outspoken, rebellious, and openly queer. Their friendship blossomed into late-night talks about dreams and fears, until one autumn evening under the stars at a school bonfire, Sarah leaned in and kissed her. That kiss ignited a fire Emily couldn't extinguish, but it also planted the seeds of her deepest conflict. As the months passed, their relationship deepened in secret. They met in hidden corners of the park, shared whispered promises in the library, and built a world where they could be themselves. But secrets have a way of unraveling. Emily's mother, Patricia, a devout Baptist and pillar of the community, found a text message on Emily's phone one fateful afternoon. "I love you more than anything," it read from Sarah. The confrontation was swift and brutal. Patricia's face twisted in horror, her voice rising to a shrill accusation. "This is not who we raised you to be. This is an abomination." Emily's father, Robert, a stoic engineer, said little, but his silence spoke volumes of disappointment. That night, the family sat at the dinner table in tense silence. Patricia laid out the ultimatum: end things with Sarah, attend conversion therapy sessions at the church, and never speak of it again, or leave. Emily begged for understanding, tears streaming down her face. "Mom, Dad, this is who I am. Sarah makes me happy. Why can't you see that?" But Patricia's response was unyielding. "Happiness isn't worth your soul, Emily. We've given you everything. Don't throw it away for this phase." Robert finally spoke, his voice low and firm. "We love you, but we can't condone this. You have until morning to decide." Emily paced her room for hours, the weight of the choice crushing her. On one side was her family, the people who had nurtured her, funded her education, and shaped her values. On the other was Sarah, the first person who saw her truly and loved her without conditions. The internal storm raged. Was loving Sarah a sin, as her parents insisted? Or was denying her heart the real betrayal? She thought of the church sermons decrying homosexuality, the whispers in school about those kinds of people, and the fear of being ostracized in their tight-knit community. But she also remembered Sarah's gentle touch, the way she challenged Emily to dream bigger, to fight for what mattered. By dawn, Emily had packed a small bag. She left a note on the kitchen table. "I choose love. I'm sorry." Slipping out the back door, she ran to Sarah's car, where her girlfriend waited with worried eyes. As they drove away, Emily glanced back at the house shrinking in the rearview mirror, a pang of guilt twisting her gut. What had she done? The road ahead was uncertain. Sarah's family was more accepting, but they lived paycheck to paycheck in a cramped apartment. Emily had no job, no plan, just the raw determination to build a life together. Their first stop was Sarah's home in nearby Fairfax. Sarah's mother, Linda, a single mom working 2 jobs as a nurse, welcomed Emily with open arms. "Your family now," she said, hugging the trembling girl. But the warmth couldn't erase the chill of abandonment. Emily's phone buzzed with missed calls from her parents, then went silent. Days turned into weeks and the reality set in. Emily enrolled in a new school, but the whispers followed her. Rumors spread like wildfire through social media. "Did you hear? Emily Carter ran away, because she's gay." Friends from her old life unfollowed her, and the church community shunned her family in solidarity. Sarah tried to be strong for both of them, but cracks appeared. "I hate that I caused this," she confessed one night, as they lay on the pull-out couch in Linda's living room. Emily shook her head. "You didn't cause anything. They did by not accepting me. But deep down, Emily wrestled with resentment, not toward Sarah, but toward the world that forced such choices. She applied for scholarships, took a part-time job at a coffee shop, and focused on survival. Yet the emotional toll mounted. Nightmares of her parents' disappointed faces haunted her, and she questioned if freedom was worth the isolation. Meanwhile, back in Arlington, Patricia and Robert grappled with their decision. Patricia threw herself into church activities, but the empty chair at dinner mocked her. Robert buried himself in work, avoiding the topic. Whispers in the neighborhood turned to outright judgment. How could they kick out their own daughter? The community, once united in faith, began to fracture. Some defended the Carters, citing biblical principles. Others, younger members, questioned the harshness. Emily's exile had planted seeds of doubt, and the first sprouts of change were emerging. As Emily and Sarah navigated their new reality, a bigger storm brewed. Sarah's ex-girlfriend, Mia, a jealous figure from her past, resurfaced with venom. Mia, still bitter from their breakup, spread lies online, accusing Sarah of manipulating Emily. The posts went viral in their small circle, amplifying the drama. Emily confronted Mia at a local mall, her voice steady despite the fear. "Stay out of our lives," she warned. But Mia smirked. "You think you can just steal her and live happily ever after? The world doesn't work that way for people like us." The encounter left Emily shaken, highlighting the external pressures they faced. Society's gaze was unrelenting. Stares in public, slurs muttered under breath. But it also fueled their bond. They attended their first Pride event in D.C., surrounded by a sea of rainbows, feeling a glimmer of belonging. Yet even there, Emily felt the pull of her old life. A call from her younger brother Tim snuck through. "I miss you, Em. Mom cries every night." The words pierced her, reigniting the internal debate. Had she made the right choice, or was reconciliation possible? The tension escalated when Emily received an unexpected email from her high school counselor, Ms. Rivera. "We need to talk about your future," it read. Intrigued and wary, Emily met her at a neutral cafe in Alexandria. Ms. Rivera, a progressive educator with a soft spot for struggling students, revealed that Emily's story had sparked a debate in the school board. "Some parents are pushing for inclusive policies," she said. "Your departure opened eyes." But there was a catch. Patricia had filed a missing persons report, claiming Emily was coerced. The accusation stung. Her own mother portraying her as a victim rather than acknowledging her agency. Emily's anger boiled over. "Coerced? She's the one who gave me an ultimatum." Ms. Rivera nodded sympathetically. "I believe you. But this could affect your college applications." The meeting planted a seed of action in Emily. She decided to fight back not just for herself, but for others like her. With Sarah's encouragement, she started a blog anonymously, detailing her experiences without naming names. The Cost of Love gained traction among queer youth in the area, sharing stories of rejection and resilience. Sarah, meanwhile, faced her own demons. Her job at a bookstore was threatened when a customer, a friend of the Carters, complained about promoting deviant lifestyles. After seeing Sarah with Emily, the manager, spineless under pressure, cut her hours. "It's just business," he said. Sarah swallowed her pride, picking up shifts at a diner, but the strain showed. Arguments flared between her and Emily. Small things like money or chores escalating into deeper wounds. "Sometimes I wonder if we're worth all this pain," Sarah admitted one evening, tears in her eyes. Emily pulled her close. "We are. But we need to be smarter." They sought help from a local LGBTQ+ center in D.C., attending support groups. There they met others with similar tales. Families torn apart, friendships lost. One woman in her 40s shared how she reconciled with her parents after years apart. "Time heals, but only if you let it," she advised. Inspired, Emily drafted a letter to her parents, pouring out her heart. "I didn't choose to be gay, but I choose to be honest. Can you choose to love me anyway?" The letter sat unsent for days, a symbol of her indecision. Sending it meant vulnerability, risking further rejection. Not sending it meant perpetual limbo. Sarah urged her forward. "You deserve closure." Finally, Emily hit send. The wait was agonizing. Days passed with no response, amplifying her anxiety. She threw herself into activism, joining a school walkout organized by queer students at her old high school. Disguised in a hoodie, she watched from afar as banners waved, "Love is not a sin." But the walkout turned chaotic when counter-protesters, including church members, arrived. Shouts of "Protect our children" clashed with "Equality now." Emily spotted her father in the crowd, his face etched with conflict. Their eyes met briefly, a silent exchange of pain. He turned away, but not before she saw the regret. That night a call came, not from her parents but from Tim. "Dad read your letter. He's thinking about it." Hope flickered, but so did doubt. Was this a trap, or a genuine olive branch? Complications arose when Mia escalated her sabotage. She leaked private photos of Sarah and Emily from a hacked account, tagging their families and schools. The images, innocent kisses at a park, were twisted into scandal. Emily's new school buzzed with gossip, and she faced bullying for the first time. "Dyke drama," kids whispered. Sarah's workplace fired her outright, citing distraction. The betrayal cut deep. Mia, once a friend, now an enemy driven by spite. In desperation, they considered legal action, but resources were scarce. Linda stepped in, using her nursing connections to find Sarah a new job at the hospital cafeteria. "Family sticks together," she said. But the damage lingered. Emily's grades slipped, her focus shattered by the constant battles. She confided in a therapist at the center, unpacking layers of trauma. "I feel like I'm paying for loving her," she sobbed. The therapist nodded. "Love in a hostile world demands sacrifice. The question is, what are you willing to endure?" As winter set in, a breakthrough came. Robert emailed Emily. "We need to talk." Neutral ground. The meeting was set at a park in Arlington. Sarah offered to come, but Emily insisted on going alone. "This is my fight." Arriving early, she paced the snowy path, nerves frayed. Robert appeared, looking older, wearier. They sat on a bench, the air thick with unspoken words. "Your mother is struggling," he began. "But I miss my daughter." Emily's voice trembled. "Then why did you let me go?" Robert sighed. "Fear. Tradition. But seeing the community divide, hearing your brother's pleas, it's made me question everything." He admitted attending a PFLAG meeting secretly, learning about queer experiences. "I don't understand it all, but I want to try." Tears flowed as Emily shared her pain, the loneliness, the love for Sarah. Robert listened, a far cry from the silent man she knew. "Bring her next time," he said softly. "Let's start small." The reconciliation was tentative, a fragile bridge over a chasm of hurt. Patricia remained distant, but Robert's efforts sparked hope. Emily returned to Sarah with cautious optimism. Maybe there's a way back. But Sarah, scarred by her own past rejections, was skeptical. "Don't get hurt again." Their relationship, tested by fire, grew stronger, but the shadows of doubt persisted. The fragile peace shattered when Patricia discovered Robert's secret meetings with Emily. A furious argument erupted in their home, plates crashing as accusations flew. "You're betraying our faith," Patricia screamed. Robert stood firm. "Our faith is about love, not exclusion." The divide in their marriage mirrored the community's fracture. Neighbors taking sides, church attendance dropping as debates raged over LGBTQ+ inclusion. Emily, unaware of the turmoil, focused on rebuilding. She and Sarah moved into a tiny apartment in D.C., scraping by on part-time jobs and scholarships. The independence was liberating but exhausting. Late nights studying, early mornings working. Every decision weighed heavy. Emily's blog evolved into a podcast, Voices Unheard, interviewing queer individuals about their struggles. It gained a small following, empowering her but exposing vulnerabilities. Mia's vendetta peaked with an anonymous tip to child services, falsely claiming instability in Linda's home. Though dismissed, the investigation drained their energy. Sarah confronted Mia at her workplace, a tense standoff in a coffee shop. "Why are you doing this?" Sarah demanded. Mia's eyes flashed with pain. "You left me for her. You destroyed me." The revelation humanized Mia. Her actions stemmed from unhealed wounds, not pure malice. Sarah softened. I'm sorry for how it ended, but this has to stop. Mia nodded, a reluctant truce formed. But bigger challenges loomed. Emily's college acceptance to Georgetown hung in the balance due to the family drama. The admissions office requested a personal statement addressing the gaps in her record. Emily poured her soul into it. My journey taught me resilience, but at what cost? Families torn, friendships lost. All for the right to love. The essay was raw, controversial, sparking internal debates among reviewers. Meanwhile, the school board in Arlington voted on inclusive policies, inspired by Emily's story. Protests erupted outside the meeting hall, signs clashing. Protect tradition versus love wins. Sarah and Emily attended, hand in hand, facing jeers from familiar faces. Patricia was there, leading the opposition. Their eyes met across the room. Mother and daughter worlds apart. The vote passed narrowly, a victory for progress, but Patricia's glare burned with defeat. The win came at a price. Vandalism targeted the LGBTQ+ center, graffiti spelling hate. Emily's podcast received threats, forcing her to go private. Fear crept in, but so did determination. We can't back down, Sarah insisted. They organized a community forum, inviting all sides. Robert attended, speaking tentatively in support. I was wrong. My daughter deserves happiness. The words rippled through the audience, shifting opinions. Patricia, isolated in her stance, faced her own reckoning. Friends distanced themselves, her church role diminished. Alone one night, she reread Emily's letter, tears blurring the words. Doubt crept in. Was her faith a shield or a weapon? She reached out to a progressive pastor, beginning a quiet journey of unlearning. As spring bloomed, Emily and Sarah's relationship deepened amid the chaos. They celebrated small wins, a stable job for Sarah, Emily's acceptance letter arriving. But the acceptance came with conditions. Family verification. Emily hesitated, then called home. Patricia answered, voice strained. Congratulations. It was a start, but the conversation turned tense. I still pray for you to change, Patricia said. Emily replied firmly. I pray for you to accept. The exchange highlighted the ongoing moral quandary. Was forgiveness obligatory or earned? Emily grappled with it, weighing the pain against potential healing. Sarah, ever the realist, cautioned. Don't force it. We've built our own family. The summer brought a turning point when Tim, Emily's brother, ran away to DC to see her. At 14, he was confused and angry. Mom and Dad fight all the time because of you, he accused. Emily hugged him tight, explaining her side. It's not because of me, it's because of hate. They spent the day exploring the city, Tim's eyes widening at the diversity. Returning him home, Emily faced her parents together for the first time since leaving. The reunion was charged. Patricia's initial coldness thawed as Tim pleaded for peace. I want my sister back. Robert mediated, urging dialogue. Emily laid bare her hurts. You made me choose between love and family. That's not fair. Patricia defended. We thought we were saving you. But cracks showed. Patricia admitted attending therapy, questioning her beliefs. I don't want to lose you forever. The family agreed to counseling sessions, a slow path to understanding. Sessions revealed deep-seated fears. Patricia's upbringing in a strict household, Robert's regret over his passivity. Emily shared her joy with Sarah, humanizing their love. Progress was uneven. Arguments flared, tears flowed, but bonds mended incrementally. Outside, societal pressures intensified. A national debate on LGBTQ+ rights dominated headlines, mirroring their microcosm. Emily's podcast went viral after a guest story resonated widely. Invitations poured in for speaking engagements, thrusting her into the spotlight. But fame brought backlash, online trolls, doxing attempts. Sarah worried. Is the exposure worth the risk? Emily pondered the trade-offs. Activism empowered her, but at what personal cost? A particularly vicious attack targeted Sarah, dredging up her past. Old wounds reopened, straining their relationship. In a heated moment, Sarah snapped. Sometimes I feel like your cause matters more than us. Emily recoiled, realizing the imbalance. She scaled back, prioritizing their bond. Mia's redemption arc unfolded unexpectedly. She reached out, apologizing profusely. I was hurting and lashed out. Can you forgive me? Sarah, after reflection, extended grace. Forgiveness doesn't erase the pain, but it frees us. The trio met, transforming enmity into uneasy alliance. Mia even contributed to the podcast, sharing her side. A testament to growth amid conflict. As fall approached, the family counseling bore fruit. Patricia met Sarah for coffee, awkward but sincere. Tell me about yourself, she asked. Sarah shared her dreams, her struggles. Patricia listened, preconceptions challenged. You're good for her, she conceded quietly. The admission was monumental, a bridge crossed. But not all wounds healed cleanly. Community rifts persisted. Some friendships lost forever. Church schisms irreversible. Emily reflected on the domino effect. Her choice sparked change but also destruction. Was the progress worth the collateral damage? With college looming, Emily faced a pivotal decision. Accept Georgetown's offer or defer for stability. The family drama had delayed her, but opportunities arose. A scholarship from an LGBTQ+ foundation eased finances, affirming her path. Sarah, now thriving in her hospital job, encouraged, go for it. We've come this far. The move to campus was bittersweet. Leaving Sarah meant long distance, testing their commitment. Weekly visits and video calls sustained them, but distance amplified insecurities. Emily dove into studies, joining queer alliances, channeling energy into advocacy. Sarah pursued her own goals, enrolling in night classes for a degree. Thanksgiving brought the ultimate test. A family gathering. Patricia extended an invitation, including Sarah. Nerves high, they arrived. The dinner was tense at first, polite small talk masking undercurrents. But as stories flowed, barriers lowered. Tim's jokes lightened the mood. Robert's pride in Emily shone through. Patricia even asked Sarah about her family, showing genuine interest. A post-dinner walk with Patricia revealed depths. I was scared of losing you to something I didn't understand, she confessed. Emily nodded. And I was scared of losing myself. The conversation marked a turning point. Acceptance, not full endorsement but enough for healing. Yet, external conflicts persisted. A conservative backlash in Arlington targeted the school's new policies, petitioning for reversal. Emily returned to speak at a town hall, facing opposition. You're destroying families, a protester shouted. Emily responded calmly. No, intolerance is. Her words swayed some but alienated others. The vote upheld the policies, a hard-won victory. Sarah's own family dynamics shifted. Linda, inspired by their resilience, came out as bisexual, revealing a long-hidden truth. You gave me courage, she told Sarah. The revelation strengthened their unit, but highlighted generational sacrifices. As the year ended, Emily and Sarah reflected on their journey. Picnics in the park, now open and unafraid, symbolized freedom. But scars remained, trust issues, lingering resentments. We've paid dearly, Emily mused. Sarah agreed. But look at what we've gained. The culmination arrived with a community event. A unity rally in D.C., where Emily was keynote speaker. Hundreds gathered, a mosaic of supporters and skeptics. She shared her story unflinchingly. The ultimatum, the exile, the reconciliations. Love demands courage and sometimes revolution. Applause thundered, but so did boos. In the crowd, her family stood. Patricia clapping tentatively, Robert beaming, Tim cheering. Afterward, a private celebration with Sarah felt like closure. We did it, Sarah whispered. But Emily knew the fight continued. Mia, now an ally, joined them, her presence a reminder of redemption's possibility. Months later, as Emily graduated, the family attended en masse. Patricia hugged Sarah. Welcome to the family. The words, once unimaginable, sealed the arc. Yet, not all ties mended perfectly. Some community fractures endured, a testament to change's cost. In quiet moments, Emily pondered the moral ambiguities. The betrayals endured, the damages inflicted. Had her defiance been heroic or selfish? The question lingered, inviting reflection. Was it right to upend lives for personal truth, or does family loyalty demand sacrifice?